Thanks. That's kind of my goal is to, um, I want to share that kind of a message that it's really important to find out who you are and share that with the world. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks of you as long as you're happy with how you are. And I mean, that's why I love like dressing up and down because it's just more expressing myself and sharing that with people. And I want other people to know that it's okay to do that. And it's really fun and you can do whatever you want to do in life once you've like clicked that code.
Well, Daisy, it's so great to meet you here on Zoom.
Lovely to meet you too. I've been very excited.
You brought your glam and your French singing to Vienna.
I have. I've especially bought the glam today because I was trying on looks because I've got a photo shoot
I love it.
later today. And I think I might go with this.
Yeah.
Lots of red.
No, I absolutely love your style and, you know, your whole image. It's wonderful.
Thank you. It means a lot. I've worked on it.
Yeah, well, I know that attracted me really on Instagram as I scrolled through and saw this. And yeah, I love what you're doing, and you sort of using French and English, and you make some of the songs that we all know. You sort of make it your own.
Oh, thanks. That's what I try and do. I mean, the Edith Piaf, I definitely imitate her a little bit. Gets the people going. But yeah, I only started pretty recently doing singing and all of that. So it means a lot to have this kind of feedback early on. So thank you.
Yeah. Where are you originally from?
So both my parents are British, but I was born and raised in France. So that's how I've got the French background.
Well, you have the accent, the British accent. So
yeah, I love like singing in French at concerts and then breaking out into a very British accent.
Yeah.
Like, what? I even thought about maybe just faking a French one to keep the sort of French magic going. But
yeah. So tell me about your music, the path you went on. And have you been singing since a young age?
I've been singing for myself since a young age. I think when I was like a child, I really wanted to be a singer, and I'd
really
go around and imitate. I'd put on my favorite albums like Beyonce and things, and then like pretend I was in a music video and go around singing everywhere. And then puberty hit, and all of that went away. And I thought, oh God, no, I need to do a real job and real things, and I'm not good enough to sing or anything like that. I did some singing lessons as a teenager, which I think were really helpful also because that was kind of my first introduction into like mindfulness and body awareness and relaxing, because that is what singing is. But I didn't keep it up and then didn't do anything with it until last year, pretty much.
Really?
Yeah. Never thought I was good enough.
No, I would have thought you've done this for years now.
Thank you. In my head and in the shower, I've done it for years.
Okay. Yeah. But that's sometimes, you know, that everybody has a different path and a different way of doing it. And sometimes you're just not ready to you know, to give it to the world then.
Absolutely. I wasn't ready at all. And I think everything that I've done in my life has led me to being able to perform and to give the kinds of performances that I give out. I mean, it's such an outlet for me to sing emotionally, and I don't think I would have been able to do that without. I'm also a therapist.
Oh, okay.
And that's helped me so much to know myself and get comfortable with sharing emotions and realizing that singing wasn't just for me, but also a kind of gift to other people because people really enjoy listening to it. And that took a while for me to click in my head. And now that I see it as more of a gift, I'm much more comfortable with it.
Yeah. And I think also because I think part of the whole singing or the industry is that you really understand what you want to do and how you want to do it. So you have had the time to really think about it, and I think this is why your image comes across so strong, you know, that you really look as if you're comfortable in what you're doing.
Thanks. That's kind of my goal, is to I want to share that kind of a message, that it's really important to find out who you are and share that with the world. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks of you, as long as you're happy with how you are. And I mean, that's why I love like dressing up and down, because it's just more expressing myself and sharing that with people. And I want other people to know that it's okay to do that. And it's really fun, and you can do whatever you want to do in life once you've like fixed that code.
Ni le bien qu'on m'a fait, ni le mal, tout ça m'est bien égal. Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. C'est payé.
Yeah, but it's almost as if you go into character then.
Yeah, probably. But I think I've always been lots of characters in my life. Bit of a people pleaser. Maybe that's the British in me. And I think I've always kind of adapted. I've never felt like I really belonged anywhere. I just adapted to whoever was in front of me. So I never really knew like who I was. And it's only growing up and realizing that I am all of these people, and I can choose to be whichever one that I want at any moment that I choose. And so singing, I can be this glam, confident, out there, vulnerable person, which I might not be in other parts of my life.
And it is being very vulnerable when you stand on stage, or you know, when you're performing and you're on your own, or you're, you know, sort of doing your thing. And it's a very well, I haven't done that, but I can just assume that it is a very vulnerable place then.
Yeah, definitely. It's pretty terrifying. I mean, so I started like the singing last year. I went to an open mic from this guy called Danny Chicago, who's in the music scene here in Vienna. And I think I was feeling particularly confident that day. So I got up and sang, and I was like, oh, wow, I can do this. Awesome. And then he started taking me to a couple of jazz bars, and I started singing at the jam sessions there, terrified still, not a lot of stage presence. And the thing that really, I think, helped me to grow a lot as an artist and a performer was starting to sing in the streets. And that's where I sort of built up all my following and got most of my opportunities. I went on to Maria Hilferstrasse. I live pretty close by. I had this terrible little karaoke box and microphone that I'd ordered on Amazon, thinking that it was a big one, but the microphone was like this big. So I was there with my tiny microphone. And it was absolutely terrifying for the first like 5 minutes, because you're like, oh God, like I'm just so obviously showing people that I want attention, you know, and we're taught as women, you don't ask for attention, blah, blah. And then I realized, oh, you know what? It's okay. And most people either don't care or they do care and they like it.
Yeah.
And then I started to just sort of play around with it. And it's such a weird place, Maria Hilferstrasse. There's so many characters and things like that, that I just kind of realized that I was just one of these characters and could start playing a role. And when you start playing a role, it's a lot easier to get into it, because you're not so much showing yourself, I guess. But as soon as sorry, yeah.
No, carry on, yeah.
Don't get me started. I can talk and talk and talk. But I think as soon as I need the role in order to start, but once I start singing, it kind of like all goes away, and I'm just putting myself out there.
Your inner self then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
No, but what I was thinking about singing in the street, because I've thought about this a lot, also during lockdown, how many musicians then turned to playing in the street, and the classical musicians also who just needed that sort of opportunity, because the theatres were closed, so they needed that opportunity to sort of just connect with the people. And I thought it's for me, I love that. I love street performing. And I wouldn't call it street performers, because I know there's sometimes a stigma to that. But I love, that you had the courage to just go there with not, the best equipment, but just put yourself out there, because I think it is, like you say, it's then connecting with that person who really wants to listen to you. I mean, some people will walk away, but there you will find your people then, or your audience then there.
Completely. I've had like some of the most beautiful experiences singing on the street. I've had people come up to me and say that, they were having such a rough day, and then they sat and listened to me for a bit and everything felt okay again. And I was like, oh God, like I don't need to be a therapist. I can just sing to people. One of the nicest times I had, I went to, you can get like a Platzkarte for going to sing in different places by the city of Vienna, and they gave me a spot at Prater, the Prater station. And there's lots of homeless people there and alcoholic people, but they were like the best audience I've ever had in my life. They were so nice. They all gathered around, they started dancing, they kept coming up to me, and they were like, thank you so much, like please do another song, this was the best day of my life, can I buy you something? And I was like, oh, don't buy me anything, like this is fine. And then we sat and had a drink together afterwards, and it was really lovely. So that kind of connecting to people is just what keeps me going.
Yeah, because it's not people who would necessarily go into a jazz bar, or would go into a venue to. So you really got to touch people on the street. That's amazing. I love this.
Me too.
Yeah. But I love your story. I love the fact that you just that you took your time and you went out there, and you didn't have the, like you say, the years of training and everything, but you really sing then from within, and it's like your natural talent that you then use.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm really lucky, because that thought of, oh, I don't have the training and everything used to hold me back massively. And I mean, this isn't luck at all, but I was unfortunate enough to have my mother pass away last year, a year ago, last Thursday, from a long battle with cancer. And actually, I think that motivated me to get into singing, because she was a wonderful, wonderful person, but gave her everything to everybody else. And I think she had quite a few unfulfilled dreams that she was always putting off for whatever reason. Oh, yeah, I'd really like to get back into painting or whatever, but, I've got this to do and that to do, and I'll do it next week. And seeing her pass away with all these unfulfilled dreams motivated me not to do the same. And I thought, you know what, like I could die tomorrow. I mean, I think death is a really powerful thing to experience, and it makes you realize your own mortality and how, we could literally die tomorrow. And so what's the harm in trying it out? Maybe I won't make it as a singer, but I'm going to have fun doing it. So
yeah. And it's like, it's like you say, it's that feeling of this is what I want to do, and we shouldn't really, have these voices of, no, you're not good enough, or you don't have the training, or you don't have this, or you don't have the equipment. Sometimes it's just getting out there and just doing it, and just then, as taking the steps, because it's sometimes the steps that bring all the things that you need to equip you to do it.
Absolutely. That's kind of my motto as a therapist. It's like, well, did you die? No. Then it wasn't a bad experience, was it?
Yeah.
You've grown from it. And who knows, maybe even if you die, maybe it's not a bad experience. We have no idea. So really, there's no losing in life.
Yeah. So tell me about the music that you're singing. How do you choose the songs, or what inspires you to sing specific songs?
I mean, the French ones, they're really just, I choose the songs that I love to sing the most. It can be either like technically speaking, just because like it's so nice to like really belt it out, and a lot of Piaf is that. Or they have a really beautiful story in the lyrics, and I can kind of act the story out and like imagine myself as a character in the story.
Yeah.
Or they're just songs that I used to listen to when I was a child, or certain parts of my life, and I can kind of go back to that part and take the emotions out when I'm singing them, especially the French songs. And then jazz was mainly like I've just been listening to them since I was a kid on repeat. And so sometimes it's also just because I know the lyrics.
Oh, okay.
Very well. But yeah, I suppose the being able to play a character in the songs.
You almost remind me, if I listen to you, and if I watch your videos on Instagram, it's almost as if you have this I would say 1940s type of glamour. You have that type of, yeah. Is that what you're really going for? Or is that just a coincidence that it comes out that way?
I don't think that I'm trying to emulate a specific era. It's more like I have a huge mood board in my head of like all these different eras of glam. Glam is I just love like glamour and anything vintage. And I do love 1940s style a lot. So, but I like to put a bit of a modern twist. I mean, some of it is also just, I'd say, almost a coincidence, because I try and always buy secondhand or like get clothes from friends and things like that. So I never like go out seeking a specific style. It just sort of happens, and I'm like, oh, cool! I can put these colors together, and it makes me look like I'm a Hollywood movie star.
Oh, I love that. But now in Vienna, you say you started out as a sort of singing in the streets and in clubs and so on. Is it an easy city to break into in the music industry, in the type of music that you sing?
I'm not sure if I've broken into it yet. So I don't know if I can answer that. I don't think it's too difficult, because it's such a musical city, and I go to a lot of the jazz bars, and there's so many talented musicians in the city. And some of the bars, it's just like you meet, everyone's like, oh yeah, I play at the opera, or I'm part of the National Orchestra, and you're like, oh wow, okay, and you just come here to like let off steam and jam, and I'm like, wow. So in terms of learning about music and the industry, that's like really easy, and there's lots of good people to take care of you. again, not sure I've broken into the industry, but I think it's coming, and therefore I'm not sure it's too difficult. I think if you put the right energy into it and really just be yourself, then it happens.
I used to hold since you went away. The days go longer and soon I'll miss all the song. But I miss you most of all, my darling. When autumn leaves start to fall.
And are you, what is the plan? Are you going to spread your wings a little bit and go to the UK and somewhere else?
For now, I'm really happy in Vienna. Also, when my mom was ill, I was doing a lot of back and forth between here and France to look after her. And I think I'm someone who really likes being in one place. And I haven't really been in one place continuously for a long time. So I want to stay here for a good at least 2 years and learn all I need to learn from the musicians around me and start some projects. And then maybe go back to the UK and see where that takes me, or France. We'll see.
Yeah.
Depending on what governments are in place.
Well, I've spoken to many young musicians here in Vienna. I hope you find. I would love if somebody that I've spoken to and you could collaborate sometime in the future, because there's so many that I can't remember names now, but you have to go through
Please, yeah.
because there are really some lovely, lovely singers, songwriters, and musicians in Vienna, young musicians, you know, who also do what you do, and I love speaking to them as well, and you know, hear their stories and how they do it. So I hope
I love the project.
Somewhere I see a lovely collaboration.
Yeah, I'm gonna scroll through your Instagram and start collaborating with you.
Yeah, but tell me about Daisy. Daisy Hearts. What is yours? That's your stage name. So how did you choose that name?
My original stage name that I found was like Catherine Claudel, because I was listening to all the older men in my life, and they were like, "You can't have something fun; it has to be serious and French." And I was like, "Oh yeah, maybe." And then I kind of woke up and I was like, "I'm not serious." Like, no. And the Daisy Hearts came Daisy because I go by Katie normally, and the amount of times where I have introduced to myself to someone saying, "Hi, my name is Katie," and they've gone, "Oh, Daisy," is
Really?
like too many to count. And it just kind of stuck in my head. Like, maybe I just look like a daisy. So, and it's fun and light and bubbly, and I'm fun and light and bubbly. And hearts, because I always wear a little heart on my face. And I love hearts, and I love love. I'm really passionate about love in general. So that just kind of felt right. I think it confuses people when I sing in French, though.
No, but I love that, because that's something we have in common. I have a little project on the side that's called Forever Your Daisy, and I photograph couples in love in Vienna. And I'm also in love with love, and I also photograph hearts in Vienna. So, yeah,
oh, awesome.
That was for me so interesting.
Funny we found each other.
Yeah, when I saw Daisy Hearts, I thought, my goodness, we have something in common. So, but anyway, but it's I love it. I love it. It's part of you, and I can absolutely see it in you now as a person as well. So, but tell me, Daisy, now we talked about you wanted to stay in Vienna, but what is the big dream? What is the wish for you for the future?
I don't have any like massive dreams of like stardom or anything like that. I think I'd just like to comfortably live off music and performing, because it's just what an awesome life to be a musician. Like, I mean, I'm very well aware that it's very difficult, and I've felt that the last 6 months for sure. But to be able to make a living off something that you enjoy doing is like incredible stuff. So maybe not being like a big international star or something, but being well known and respected in jazz and chanson, and being able to travel around and spread my performances to people. And I'd also like to write my own music. I'm working on that at the moment.
Have you done some songs that you had the opportunity to sing?
Not yet. I've only started like a month ago. This was another part of my like negative beliefs before, like, oh, I'm not a songwriter. I can't write any songs. And I was like, why am I saying that? I could probably write some songs. And I have a wonderful pianist friend that I met here in Vienna. He's wonderfully talented, and we're quite similar. So I can kind of sing him a song and he'll just translate exactly what's in my head onto the piano, and it's like magical stuff. Yeah. I'm like, yes, that's exactly how it was, even though I just went do 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 do, and he's like,
amazing. Brilliant. Who is this wonderful talented pianist?
He's called Marius Lombroso. He might be someone you want to interview as well. He's quite a character. Yeah. And he's doing lots of things. He's also in tech, working on a piano transcription app, which is pretty cool. He's completely mad, but in a brilliant way.
Wonderful. Well, yesterday I spoke to a guitarist and composer, and I asked him about, the first composition, how was it to sort of release it, to get it out there. And he said it's almost like a painter who wants to paint but can't get the painting out on the canvas, and then just suddenly when you do it, then it just comes out, and then it becomes, the more you do it, it becomes easier. So it's great that you just decided to do it, and then it will gradually come out, and more and more and more. I believe.
I hope. I know so. But creativity is really weird like that. Like, you really can't force it. Like, I mean, I've written quite a few lyrics now, but it's never when I want to write them. It's when I'm in bed, cozy, just about to fall asleep, and then suddenly a tune goes into your head, and you're like, damn it, I have to write that down, don't I? I've got a bunk bed, so I have to cry. So I'm all the way back down and write it, and I'm like angrily writing these lyrics. Why are you coming to me now? But okay, fine. Yeah, very, very funny.
Yeah, but someone also said to me, it's when you sing a lot of covers, you also sort of build up a confidence to sing your own stuff, because you put your own sort of spin on the music, and then that also gives you the confidence to do your own style and your own music. So I think you're on the right path, or you're doing it the right way. Yeah.
Hopefully. I think that's why I really like jazz, because I never sing. I mean, that's the whole point of jazz, right? Like, singing jazz standards is you don't sing it exactly how it's supposed to be sung. You put your spin onto it, and I have so much fun with that. And I think that it is actually giving me the confidence to do my own stuff. And yeah.
Wonderful. But really, I'm a big fan already. So
thank you, Petra.
I love what you're doing.
I'm a big fan of yours.
Thank you. Love that you just do your thing, and that you're not, that you just went out there and sang in the streets and did your own thing and connect with people and do it sort of an organic way. I love that. So all the best to you, and I'll still be following you and looking forward to seeing what you come up with.
Wonderful. I'll be following your Daisy project and your Heart project. That sounds awesome. I'll go have a look.
Okay. I'll send you something. So, but all the best, and hope to see you one day in concert. or in
Thank you. Yeah, you
performance.
can have free tickets for life.
Oh, thank you so much.
It was a pleasure. We can talk
Thank
about
you.
love some other time if we
Oh,
meet again.
yeah.
I probably have a lot to talk about.
I'm in love with love, so
Me too.
yeah.
The falling leaves of red and gold. I see your lips, the summer kisses, the sunburned hands I used to hold since you went away. The days grow longer and soon I'll miss all precious song. But I miss you most of all, my darling. When